What's up guys, this is Hatsman and I'm coming to you with a brand new deck profile today, and today we are doing Dinomist. Now, I love these cards. Growing up, I always loved dinosaurs. They're just, like, fantastic and majestic. And when this deck came out, I just knew I was going to play it. But this deck can do a lot of stupid things, including getting out Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is really, really cool. It's one of the few decks that can actually do it rather consistently right now. So, it just makes me like the deck even more. So, let's get into it. We are playing 4 Dinomist. We're playing 3 Stegosaur. I know that's rather unusual. Most people only play 2. Replace one for like an Ariadne or like a Draco Slayer, like a Lesser Pendulum or something. I'm not playing Guiding Ariadne or Lesser Pendulum just simply because a lot of the counter traps really aren't as important right now. If like Solemn Warning gets off the ban list, I would definitely be taking out this, like, at least one of these guys for an Ariadne to make room. But at the moment, I'm liking 3 just because he's a good scale card and he's good for rank 4 fodder. So it's just in general just nice to have a constant level 4. 3 Plesio's. This is my favorite card in the deck by far. He allows you to get over some of the big things, which is a big problem this deck has. It's definitely the most important card next to probably right under Dinomist Charge, just in terms of the archetype itself. But like, if you don't know what he does, it's your opponent, like all your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack times the number of Dinomist cards you have on the field. That includes your scales, that includes Dinomist Charge. So you can easily get rid of like 300 to 500 attack points off of your opponent's monsters, which is usually enough. If you have multiples, it's just insane, because then if you have 3, your opponent is not losing 300 attack off of all their monsters, they're losing 900. It's just insane, and then with scales, obviously, they would lose a lot more. So, Plesio's just allows you to get over a lot of things, and it solves a big problem with the deck. 3 Terran. Probably the 3rd best card in the deck. He's the searcher in terms of the monsters. I wish he was a lot better. I wish he was more like on normal summon or on special summon, or rather if he deals damage, rather than having to destroy a monster, because honestly that's a little bit more versatile. He has to destroy a monster in order for you to search for any Dinomist card that includes Charge, but it's just, I wish it was just better. It helps that he's 1800 attack, but it's just not as good as it could be. I'm also playing 3 Brachion, 3 Ceratops, and 3 Rex for the level 5s. Brachion and Ceratops work really well together. As you know, I don't know if you guys have seen, the card guys have been really pushing this engine with Dinomist Charge in terms of like Pepe or whatever. And because it allows you to get out Infinity, it's an Infinity-based engine. Because if your opponent controls like the highest attack point monster and you do not already control Brachion, you can special summon out Brachion. And then Ceratops, if you control a Dinomist monster, you can special summon him. That allows you to rank 5, and that's really cool. Rex is basically the boss monster of the deck. He allows you to get over a lot of things, which is really, like, not really get over a lot of things, but it allows you to attack a lot of monsters and also eat cards at your opponent's hand, which is really cool. And then for support, I'm playing double Cyber Dragon Dre, and then 1 Chronomaly Golden Jet. So, the reason why I'm playing this particular ratio, also this is Spanish in case you were wondering, the Dre allows me to go into things that are a little bit more Cyber Dragon based, and Cyber Dragon Nova combos really well with this card. It allows me to do a little bit of like mental games with my opponent. I'll explain that when I get to Nova, just simply because it roots outside. It helps me root out Solemn Strikes that I don't want to be activated onto the rest of my Dinomist, and it also allows me to get Cyber Dragon Nova up to 4200, but it also lets me do some other things, so I'll explain that. Second, Chronomaly Jet is a good card to get around bottom shelf hole, because he's only got 1300 attack, but the main thing with these 3 is that they can be level 4 or level 5. Ray does it on normal summon, and you can actually just activate Chronomaly Golden Jets whenever you want, so you can pendulum summon him and still activate the effect. So unfortunately you can only normal summon Drain to get the effect, but whatever. The reason why I'm playing double with him is because he comes well with a lot of Cyber Dragon support, so that's why I'm doing that particular ratio. So Now with that, let's move on to the spells. Okay, so for the spells, we're going to start off with the best card in the deck, which is Dinomist Charge. This card's insane. It's basically a 10 key for Dinomist. You just activate it, you get to search Dinomist card, and then if a Dinomist card leaves the field and goes to the extra deck that includes from the scales, you get to add it to your hand. So if you don't know how Dinomists work, Dinomists, they have two different scales, which is scale 3 and scale 6. I have a Brachion and a Terran here as an example. Terran is a scale 3, and all scale 3s have the pendulum effect. If another Dinomist card you control will be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can pop this card instead. And then with Charge, you can add it back to your hand. And then Brachion, like all the other rank 6s, scale 6s, have once while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate and activate a card effect that targets another Dinomist card you control, then destroy this card. So obviously this can protect your Dinomist charges, and then you just add it back to your hand. And then if it's on your turn when those effects activate, you can just activate in your hand and then put it back on the field. So it's just, it's really insane that the fact that you can actually protect your monsters, and it helps you swarm a little bit as well. I'm also playing 3 Wavering Eyes. It's a pendulum deck. I want to search as much as possible, so Wavering Eyes is definitely necessary. Instead of Twin Twizzlers, I'm playing MST. I'm playing 3 copies of MST because I don't want to ditch cards in this deck. You really have to pick and choose which decks you're playing Twin Twister, in my opinion. If you don't want cards in the graveyard, then Mystical Space Typhoon works perfectly well with this deck and other decks like it. Pendulums don't like the graveyard, specifically Dinomist and anything else. Really, the only deck that can actually work with the graveyard was Pepe, because they had things like Damage Juggler and Trick Clown, where they had effects happening in the graveyard. So it's just, I prefer not having to ditch a card, and I just want to destroy one card most of the time. So triple MST works for me. For draw power, I'm playing 3 Upstart Goblin. I feel like this is the best one for this deck. I don't like Maxi in this deck, although sometimes I prefer it. It depends on the matchup. I would definitely side the Maxis just in case, so I can improve other things on the side things. So 3 Upstart Goblin for the deck right now. 1 limiter removal because it is a machine deck, and then 1 the Monarch Stone 4th because almost half of the monsters you're playing are level 5. And you don't always have the cards to get them out, so the Monarch Stone 4th allows you to basically punish your opponent for having a monster on board, and you can just normal summon. The reason why I only have 1 is because it prevents me from special summoning from the extra deck, which is not good in a pendulum deck, so 1 works perfectly fine. It's just good when either I don't need to Xyz summon or fusion summon, which you can do in this deck, and then, yeah, it's okay occasionally. And then for traps, 3 Rush, which is basically an artifact sanctum for the deck, 1 Solemn Warning, and then 1 Bottom Destruction. So with that, let's move on to the extra deck. Okay, so for the extra deck, you can actually play around quite a bit to what your preference is. I like to use my extra deck to play mind games in this deck because of the fact that this deck can have some versatility in terms of what it can summon. So let's get into it first, and I'll explain things as we go. So we're playing 2 fusions in this deck. We're playing 1 Chimera Fortress Dragon and 1 Barboroid. It is possible to get this card out. I'm playing 2 Cyber Dragon Nova, which I'll get to later. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's an easy card to get over, and if Cyber Dragon Nova gets like Solemn Strike or something, it gets sent to the graveyard, and then I get to spring up this, and I get to punish my opponent for it. So it's just, Barboroid allows you to, if you don't know what this guy does, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and then it cannot attack your opponent directly, which is what its main goal is to just get rid of a field. And then after damage calculation, if this card attacks from this monster, negate the effects of that monster, including their effects in the graveyard. If this card destroys a monster by battle, inflicts 1,000 damage to the opponent. So you can do quite a bit of damage with him, and on top of that, your opponent cannot activate their Cosmos Ships effects, which is good. Your opponent cannot activate their Monarch graveyard effects like freaking Erebus because they're just negated. It doesn't say so in turn, it just says their effects are negated. And so it's just, yeah. it can do some stupid things with this. So on One Dweller, probably one of the better extra deck cards. It's a water deck, so that works. One Dispel, one Cowboy, one Gear Dragon because it is machines. I don't go into this too often. I mainly go into this if I really need a Cyber Dragon Dre or Chronomaly Golden Jet because I can't normally search them out as easily. So Gear Dragon X allows me to do that. And then 103 Ragna Zero because you can go with Plesio's with this and then just pop a ton of cards in your opponent's on the field. So that's really cool. For rank 5s, I'm playing one Bulk, one Shark, one Durandal, one Pleiades because it's possible to make. If I have a Golden Jet or Dre or 2 Dre's, I can make this card. So that's why I have it, and it's a decent card regardless. So one Pleiades is fine. Double Nova, as I said before, and then moving on to the higher ranks. One Cyber Dragon del Infinito, and Cyber Dragon Infinity, and then one Gaia Charger. So Bulkasaurus and Gaia Charger obviously go together. You activate the Bulkasaurus effect, pop a card, deal 1,000 damage, and then you can still attack with Gaia Charger after that. And then obviously Cyber Dragon Infinity goes with Cyber Dragon Nova. But the reason why I'm playing double is because I'm playing Dre. And one, you can get this guy up to 4,200, and then with limited removal, you can get him up to 8,400, which is obviously insane. So you can OTK with this card a little bit. However, the cool effect, as I said before, is that if he's sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, which is very likely right now with Solemn Strike, I can get out Barbaroid, and I can basically... if I just summon out the Nova and I don't go into Cyber Dragon Infinity, my opponent will typically miss their Solemn Strike because they'll instantly think, oh, he's going for Infinity. No. And especially if I go for the second one and they're like, oh, does he have another one? And they'll try to Solemn Strike this one or something before a problem generates or something happens. But regardless, if I have a Dre in the graveyard, I can special summon out Cyber Dragon Nova. Special summon out the Dre, and then I can lure out Strike, and then send Nova to the graveyard, dealing 1,500 attack like points to my opponent just because they want to get rid of the 4,200 beasts that I could summon, or the rank 4 or 5 play that I might go for, and get out the Barbaroid. So it's just, it can do a lot of stupid things. And that's why I like playing 2 of it. This is the only card I'm playing 2 of in my extra deck, so Nova is definitely very important, and I feel like it's really underrated in the things it can do right now. So, Durandal, obviously I'm playing this because it gets rid of really crappy hands, which obviously this deck doesn't have a problem with. So, yeah, and then Shark Fortress is good for, reactivating certain effects that are really good, like Terran. So, yeah, so thank you guys for watching this deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a nice day.